Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Video Game Choo Choo podcast episode of 2018. I'm your host, John, and we're in it. We're done with Game of the Year. We're done with 2017. We're in 2018. We did it. We made it the whole year. Everyone give yourself a little pat on the back. I hope y'all, y'all are feeling a little better.
Yeah. So John, when the clock switched to 2018 and we moved into the future, which cybernetic upgrade did you pick?
I got the cybernetic pinky, so it's always up whenever you're doing something fancy.
Oh, that's a good choice. What about you, Trex?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay. I just thought I'd brought it up since, much like John, I got the cybernetic finger enhancement when they came around and were like, hey, it's 2018, here's your government mandated upgrade. So now I can fucking press clicker buttons twice as fast when playing Cookie Clicker. I guess that's a real timely reference, isn't it? Especially in 2018.
Yeah, that's really weird because I got a downgrade.
Really?
Yeah, I have horses now.
You own horses.
Yeah, they got rid of my cars.
Interesting.
Oh, see, you had multiple cars, and now you have multiple horses.
Yeah. And no electricity.
You must be living in like the primitive anarchist section of the country, while John and I are like in the Deus Ex strip of the United States, the cyber belt, as they call it.
Well, I mean, I do live in Ohio, so
sure. I'll pretend like I know. For the sake of this bit, I'll pretend like I know anything about the state of Ohio.
There's nothing to know about it.
Fair enough.
That's the thing about America. Like a good 60% of it is just
Sure.
It's land. That's what it is.
It's like Wyoming. What's the deal with that?
What the fuck is that?
Exactly. However, if there's anyone listening from Wyoming, I urge you to send in something interesting about your state. That's what I say. If not, there you go. That speaks volumes in of itself. Anyway, folks, it's been like a couple of weeks since we've recorded a podcast. I am completely out of it. Like, I can barely remember what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm... I will say, this is a little segue here. While we were doing our Game of the Year deliberations, I, inadvertently was running it like I normally did, where I was like, okay, no, we have to make sure that the recording sounds good, and we were like, wait, no, we're not recording. I was rereading everything to make sure that people would know what we were talking about. And I fit right back into that role like a glove. It was wild.
You just gotta get back in the swing of things,
You just gotta get up, pep up. Come on, let's go.
Ooh.
Alright, so, yeah, I guess we can start off by talking about Game of the Year. On the day that we're recording this, that was the day that we released our last video and our last lists and all that.
Yeah.
So, I guess we could just talk openly about that now. I feel like if I'll just say, if you have not watched our videos or read our top 10 lists, I'd say go do that. It's not going to take you very long. It's probably going to take you 20 minutes tops to watch the videos and read the lists. Maybe 25. But once you do that, come back, because we're just going to talk about Game of the Year now.
Sure.
So there you go. There's your spoiler, your buffer there. Yeah, we did videos instead of our deliberation podcast, and we didn't pick an actual Game of the Year. We just shared our games of the year and made it a celebration of all the different games that we all loved. So for both of you, I guess I should ask, how do you feel about that move? I feel like this was something that I chose to do just because I felt like it was going to be A, way too much work, and B, just the vast amount of games that came out this past year.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was it was a fool's errand to compare them like that. People's tastes were so different, and the amount of really great games that came out from so many different angles would have made it almost impossible to really argue one over the other. So that was my choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us that was a fair way to approach it. Largely just because of, like you said, like the size of the site. Like we have like 8 people, and to get all those people on a podcast debating stuff the way we do, and trying to kind of go back and forth about that, it would have been a lot to take in, I think, and it would have been a lot of work for like Niall and stuff like that. But I did really enjoy what we ended up doing with the videos and such. Andy did a great job with all those.
Not only that, like, ever since Game of the Year came out for most websites, they've been getting like backlash on like their number ones. I don't know if that happens all the time. I'm sure it does. But
absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like having our own individual thoughts on our number ones was a really wise choice on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a fun little factoid. Now, this is not supposed to mean anything specific, but I just thought it was really neat that Scott actually ran some numbers. Let me see if I can't pull up the numbers there. So I would just like to let everyone know what if we were just running by like if we were doing like a weighted scale thing where if the game was number 10 on our top 10 list, it got 1 point, and then if it was number 1, it got 10 points. Scott actually crunched the numbers and figured out what our top 10 list would be if we just use that. So, let me pull that up because it is pretty interesting. Obviously, this isn't supposed to mean anything concrete. We're not saying that this is actually how it is.
Yeah, this isn't a site opinion. It's just an aggregate of what we have in our personal list.
It's an aggregate, and I thought it was neat. So if we were to go from 10 to 1, just based on appearances in top 10 lists, it would be Emily is Away 2, Hellblade, PUBG, Breath of the Wild, Sexy Brutale, Night in the Woods, Yakuza 0, Mario Odyssey, Persona 5, and Nier Automata.
Yeah.
So, I think that, even if you ignore the, ranking of that, which I think you, I think you kind of should, if you just look at that list of 10 games, I think that's just a great snapshot of our taste overall. I would say, if we just put out, hey, Chooch, what are 10 games that you would recommend this year, not even in any particular order, that would be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I was kind of surprised to see that Persona 5 took the number 2 spot, but I think that's just because almost everyone on the site had it on the list in some capacity, whether it was number 10 or number 3. So
yeah, and it was really close. According to these numbers, it's 3 points under Nier. So if one person liked Persona a little bit more, it probably would have been number 1 instead of Nier. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Still, it's just a neat thing to kind of be aware of, that was what appeared on our lists the most. But even then, there were a bunch of games that not everyone got to play that we got to highlight. I think you and I... No, Andy did play it too, but only a couple of people played Rabbids. I know Niall played a bunch of games that none of us played. If you're looking for some different, smaller games, you should definitely check out Niall's top 10.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael too. Michael played some very different games than the rest of us did. So yeah, Michael and Niles are definitely I don't mean this in a bad way, just they are definitely the outliers for a lot of their opinions, but they did still enjoy some of the bigger games Persona and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that we did a good job overall. I'm sure that we'll continue to evolve it in the next year. I did get some ideas from just watching and listening and paying attention to other sites' Game of the Year stuff, or even other sites say Anime of the Year stuff. I listened to Anime News Network's Anime of the Year podcast, and I really liked what they did with that. So, I'm going to keep thinking about it, and now this time I got a full year to figure out exactly what I want to do with it.
Yep. Got plenty of time.
So, yeah, I mean, do you all have any comments on Game of the Year? Maybe there are some games that you missed that you feel like you would have enjoyed and you feel bad for not including. Harris, Trex, how about we start with you? Do you have any comments or any regrets from Game of the Year?
Well, I've kind of talked about this a little bit on my Twitter, but like I really wanted to play Nier because I heard good things about it, and I was like, after seeing Game of the Year, it's on like everybody's list except mine, basically. But I
wouldn't say that. I don't think Michael played it, and Niall didn't like it. So,
okay. Well, I feel like it was on a lot of people's top 10 list in general, not just in Chooch, but like, yeah, I didn't get very far in it just because like I didn't like the gameplay. And, like, everybody tells me, the story's really, really good. And when we were doing deliberations, it was one of the nominees for Best Moment, I think. And just, like, watching that cutscene that we picked out, just, like, I don't know. Like, it gave me goosebumps. But, like, I just, I don't know if I can play through it or not. Might just have to watch it.
I mean, whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
Ryan, is there anything that you want to comment on?
Yeah, I played a pretty decent amount of games this year, at least for me, because, in the last couple of years, I've had a little bit of trouble, like, getting my hands on games, so to speak, and having access to them. But, this year, I got, like, a Switch, and I actually played, like, more than just 10 games, because the last few years, I've played, like, 10, maybe, like, 12 or 13 games throughout the entire year because, that's all I can really manage to do. But this year, I feel like I actually managed to do more than I typically would have. But even then, there was stuff that I missed that I kind of regret not playing before the end of the year. I mean, I can still go back and play this stuff, but it was stuff I wanted to be in on for the discussion for awards, like stuff on Niall's list, such as Detention. I really wanted to play that. I really wanted to play Shrouded Isle. I really wanted to play Divinity Original Sin 2, which I think was Michael's Game of the Year, but I just didn't have the money for it, and I'm not sure if my computer can even run that game. So I'd have to look into that. But, just stuff like that. This year I played a lot of ports of stuff. Like I played Resident Evil for the first time, like the first one and the fourth one. I played the first two, like Danganronpa games. Like I played Hitman from last year and that sort of stuff. So I'd say it was maybe on my end, like 70% new games and like 30% older games, or even like 60 new games, 40 old games. There's a pretty decent mix, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what I got my hands on prior to the end of the year. But there's definitely stuff that came out this year, or last year, I guess I should say, that this year and in the future I'll be trying to play because it's still stuff I really want to get my hands on.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we're just doing what we got to do, so. Yeah, I don't really have any major regrets. I played all the games that I kind of felt like I could this year. I was busy and I was broke for most of the year, so hopefully this year. I mean, I have school to worry about now, but hopefully, fingers crossed, with my job that I have now, I can find a little bit of time and use some of that money to play some games and really talk about a bunch of shit during Game of the Year. I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to talking about what's been interesting us lately. Ryan, how about we start with you? Because you have a couple of, an announcement in yours, so you can go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
Oh, Lord, okay. Well, I guess technically I do have an announcement that I'll start off with, if this is what I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, now I feel like you've kind of loaded this chamber for me, and I'm kind of spinning these topics in my head and praying that I pick the one that you're referencing, or else I'll look like a real bozo
We'll just pretend it's the right
clown.
one.
Yeah. So what I'm assuming you're talking about is that PAX South is next week, and I and Michael for the site will be there as press. Noted internet criminal in front of the site, Mike Casamano, will also be there. So it's going to be us three, and if you hear this and you're going to be at PAX South, maybe get in touch. We'll be there. We'll be doing coverage of games and such. Be filming a kind of video game choo-choo PAX South experience type video, deep in the heart of Texas, quite literally, because we will be in San Antonio, which is essentially the smack damn middle of the state of Texas. So, I don't quite know if this is the announcement you were talking about, John, but...
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, we'll be out there. If you're out there, like I said, seek us out, come say hello. I will probably be wearing either a tropical or flannel shirt on every day I'm out there. So, find us. We'll be here. Find us. We'll draw you a map. Find us.
Find us. Kill us.
Find us. Yes. If you are able to hunt us down and neutralize one or all of us, then you will take our place on the staff of videogamechoochoo.com. I'm willing to make that bet. If I am somehow killed by an assassin at PAX, it will pass on Santa Claus-like to my murderer, and then they will be here doing the podcast in a couple weeks, I think. But that should be fun.
Is Chooch just the No More Heroes United Assassination Association? Is that just what this is?
It could be, if that's what you wanted it to be. We could, we just got an adorable new mascot, if y'all haven't checked the site recently, whose name is Kurt, and...
It's true.
Yeah, that's kind of like the first step to rebranding, I think. And, we could take it a few steps more. We can make this video game site into a, not video game site, into a message
site.
Yeah, that's a potential. I was going more for like an assassination site, because I think that's what John's getting at here, but there are a lot of there's a lot of options. We could rebrand into a furry site. I think it'd work perfectly fine. Night in the Woods was on a lot of our list. We've got a nice little dog mascot and everything. I think it'd be perfect, but
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So that's PAX. Because I'll be out there, I probably won't be on the podcast next week unless I pull some real dumb garbage with being able to record while Michael and Mike are in the room with me. But
oh boy.
There'll still be updates on Twitter, updates after we get back when I edit some video together and that sort of thing. So keep those peepers peeled, so to speak. And whatever good things happen to leak out of PAX South, you can guarantee I'll be there with the wet vac to suck them up and deliver them to you on the internet wholesale.
Yeah, maybe y'all can just record something together. That might be a good idea.
Yeah, because I know PAX South generally isn't something like PAX Prime where there's like announcements and stuff like that. Like, it really seems more kind of like, just, hey, come hang out at the game convention, try some stuff sort of thing.
Sure.
But I've never been. The only convention I've ever been to is like Dallas Comic-Con, and that's like within driving distance of my house, or my old house anyway. So I've never had the convention experience of meeting up with people I know from the internet, and much less doing news coverage for said convention. But it should be good. It should be a fun time.
Totally. I bet you're going to have a good time.
Here's hoping.
So, anything else that you want to discuss today?
Yeah, I'll knock off one more of my points here, and then we can move on, and maybe I can circle back around by the end.
No, you just go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
All right. I don't want to spend like, half an hour just talking by myself, but it is 2017, and that means that new year, new start, new me. And by that, I mean I have decided to enter the world of fighting games. To that end, I purchased Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the PS4 at the end of last year, back in December. And at the beginning of this month, on the 1st, I actually bought Skullgirls on PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
John, I know you're a fan of fighting games. Trex, do you play any at all?
I play them now and then, every now and then, but like it's one of those things that feel kind of repetitive to me.
Yeah.
But like my favorites are probably Street Fighter, obviously, and Skullgirls.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really gotten that far into either of these games because I really want to get a like an arcade stick, because I feel as though I don't have the proper amount of hand-eye coordination on a controller to play these games properly. But they're pretty fun. I really like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That game gives me pretty much everything I want. I wasn't planning on buying Infinite or anything, and I really wasn't planning on doing this at all, but when they announced the Street Fighter 30th collection, I was like, hey, maybe this is something I should check out, and then from there it kind of spiraled downhill within like the span of 3 weeks or so, and now I'm like here trying to save up money to buy an arcade stick and stuff like that, but Marvel vs. Capcom is a real fun time. Get to play as Nemesis and all that. Which I guess you can do in Infinite too, but Infinite doesn't seem like it's as good of a game as 3. Skullgirls, I've only tried the tutorial mode where you go through like the training lessons and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I am trying my damnedest with that game, but like I said, I don't think I have the proper hand-eye coordination to do a lot of this stuff in these games, because I got about like 6 or 7 lessons into that training thing, and then it was taking me forever to like get through stuff because I just like could not do it. Like I could not pull it off. Like I got to the one where you have to block, where you have to like go backwards and you have to learn how to do like the mix down stuff where you block high, low and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I think part of it is just because I'm not used to playing these kinds of games, but it took me a very long time to get past that bit where you have to do the 3 like very hard mix downs or whatever it is. I was like, I have no idea I know what I'm doing, but I just don't have a fast enough like reaction to trigger that sort of stuff. But it's something that I think the more I practice with, the better I'll get at it, because I really do want to be able to play these games at like a decent level. And prior to this, the only ones I'd really touched were like Soul Calibur on the PS2 and Smash Bros, which isn't really your traditional fighting game. But they're a lot of fun, and hopefully by a couple months from now, I'll be a little more in the swing of things with that. I'm probably going to try to get the Street Fighter Arcade Edition for PS4 when that comes out pretty soon, but we'll see what happens. John, you're pretty into fighting games, yeah?
Yeah, no, I really love fighting games, so I am most certainly happy that you are getting into it.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, so you're starting off with Skullgirls and Marvel. Mm-hmm. You seem to really like Marvel. You weren't bad at Marvel.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Marvel was good. I liked Marvel a lot because obviously it's these characters from both the Marvel and the Capcom side that I really like enjoy. And I think part of the problem with Skullgirls may be that I was playing with this janky ass like old PC Xbox controller that I have.
Yeah.
But like that DualShock 4 is pretty solid. I was really into Marvel vs. Capcom. Like right before I moved, I played it like every day for like 5 days straight, and I got really into it. And I haven't picked it back up since then because I've been moving, and I moved back down here, and then I went back up for Christmas and all that. Then I came back down, and I'm unpacking, and I'm trying to get ready for PAX next week, and just all this stuff. But as soon as I have some spare time, I'll probably dive back into that and, try Skullgirls a little bit more once I've, trained myself a bit. But, it's really good. I'm probably not gonna buy, like, Capcom Infinite or anything, MVC Infinite, because like, I'm not that into it, but to pick up Marvel vs. Capcom for like $12 in like the PS4 sale, like that was a very good decision on my part. I think that game's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been playing anything else?
Not in particular. Like I said, I've been really busy. I did pick up Terraria again over the last couple days, and that's a game I sank like almost 100 hours into when I was really into it, but I just kind of picked it back up to have something to do in like the background of like Discord calls and things like that, and I think that game's a lot of fun. Michael told me to try out Starbound, because that's pretty similar. Have either of y'all played that?
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. Is it just like...
It's not as... I mean, it's a little... I don't know, like, how to explain it. It's... It offers a little bit more than Terraria, but I feel like Terraria is a little bit more composed, I guess, like, well put together.
Sure.
I feel like Starbound has too much of a range.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember Starbound was in early access for a long time before it hit 1.0.
I'm pretty sure they updated it since the last time I played it, which was like a couple years ago. So it might be better now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like it just came out of early access like last year, maybe, or even like earlier this year. Like I can't remember. I really have no idea. But Michael said something about it, and someone else said something about it, and it's probably a game I'll buy if it goes on sale, like for a Steam sale. But I'm not like dying to pick it up or anything like that. I think that's pretty much it. I've got some news I wanted to talk about, but we can loop back around to that. John, if you or Trex have something y'all would like to pop in with.
I mean, it's your turn. So you go ahead with your news.
All right. Your
non-personal news.
Yeah. This is kind of a non-personal type thing, but a game that I was very excited for to come out this year that I have had my name on the Chooch review doc for since it was announced like 2 years ago. Psychonauts 2 has been delayed and will no longer be released in 2018. Which is not necessarily surprising. Like, I kind of thought that maybe it might come out at, like, the tail end of 2018, because it doesn't seem like they've done, like a huge amount of development on it, if that makes sense. But, like, I don't know. I'm really excited to play this game. The first one's one of my favorite games of all time. But, it's just one of those things, you know? They've been releasing developer updates, which are pretty cool. They have, like, the first, like, playable test level out. Well, not playable by us, the pros, but, playable by the, developers and such. That looked pretty good. So, you know, hopefully we'll hear more news about this in the future. I don't know if either of y'all were looking forward to playing this game, but,
yes.
I'm a really big fan of the original. Have you...
I only played a little bit of the original, but...
I haven't finished it. I think that I was pretty far into it. I think I was on, like, the last level. It was, like, the meat
Meat circus.
Yeah, but I, like, could not get past it, to save my life.
I mean, it's pretty infamously difficult and that sort of thing, but, I'll probably replay the first one at some point this year, just because, you know, I like it, but I was kind of looking forward to this coming out this year, you know, but I'm not surprised that it's not, so to speak. To put it in blunt terms, games are hard to make, and sometimes games take a while. And even though I personally am disappointed that it's been delayed, I know in the future I will be satisfied, because it means that they are putting more quality into the game, or at least spending more time on it. So that's reassuring.
Okay. Trex, what's been going on with you?
Not a whole lot. I'm actually currently replaying Super Danganronpa 2. Big surprise.
Nice.
I never actually played it before. I read it when it was back on essay, and I do believe that I actually finished it, despite it not being completely translated. I think eventually I went onto YouTube and found the translation for the ending or something. But I don't remember a whole lot about it. Like, I remember who kills who and stuff, but it's really weird going back to play a Danganronpa game when, you know, the whole surprise and is, you know, finding out who kills what person and going through the trial and stuff. But I'm actually enjoying it, despite, you know, knowing what's going to happen. I don't know. I think that says a lot about a game when you can, like, replay it despite that big part of it not being a surprise to you anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I played that in the first Danganronpa earlier this year, which I'm sure I talked about on the podcast. And even now, just a few months later, I'm like dying to replay those games. Like, even knowing the twist, the just like the narrative arc of those games, especially the second one, is so compelling that it's really easy to get sucked back into it, I think.
Yeah, it's also really interesting replaying it after such a long time, and then, like, seeing how my opinions change and, like, what characters I like. Yeah. Like, I remember when I first read it, I really, really, really did not like Komaeda. I thought he was a trash character, which he is, don't get me wrong. But playing it again, I see why people like him.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Like, before, I just thought people were like, oh, his edgy character. But now I'm like, he's clever. He's very clever. He's a very clever character.
Yeah, there's definitely some depth there. How far into it are you, like, the replay?
I just finished the trial of chapter 5, so I'm almost done with it.
So you're almost done. Yeah, because I was gonna say that fifth trial is really, like, you know, his moment, so to speak.
It is, and replaying it, for some reason, like, I don't remember that trial, like, at all. But replaying it, it was interesting how it affected me. Like, yeah, I teared up a little bit.
Yeah, I never read those when they were coming out on SA at the time because I just didn't, like, I saw people post about it, but I just never got into it. So for me, going in and playing these Reload games, the experience was completely fresh, and, you know, I personally, like, just the emotional weight of, like, physically playing those trials and stuff like that. Like, you know, how does that compare to just reading it, I guess? Because obviously, you know, there's, like, a narrative emotion in reading it, but, like, how does the, you know, like, the physical act of, like, playing the game kind of change your reaction to it, if at all?
I mean, I feel when they would, like, post videos of the trials, of the actual trials, so you could, like, hear the characters' voices and stuff.
Gotcha.
But I feel like when you actually play a game, no matter how little you're playing it, like, there's just little tiny puzzles during the trial, and you just, you know, click A to keep the dialogue going. I just feel like that immerses you a little bit more. So I feel like my emotional attachment to the characters was a little bit stronger than when I first read about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand. It's like with anything, like, you know, you can watch, like, a Let's Play of stuff and, like, see the video, but there's always this, like, tactile difference of, like, actually, you know, sitting down and playing it and having that physical connection to it that doesn't always come through in the, in sort of viewing it, so to speak.
For sure, yeah.
It's cool, though. I mean, I played that and I loved it, so I hope you're enjoying it, too.
Well, yeah, of course. So another one that I started playing, I played this specifically, like, during Game of the Year, to be honest, or maybe a little bit before, but I started playing Emily is Away. Niall, it's, like, Niall's favorite game, basically. Yeah. It probably isn't his favorite game, but he talks highly of it, super highly.
It's his favorite game of the year, at least.
Yeah. So I started playing it, and the first one, I was like, like, it's cool, it's a cool concept, but it's not, I don't know, it's, like, petty preteen drama, and I don't live for that, I guess. And then I played the second one, and, of course, in the second one, there's more than just Emily now that you're talking to another girl as well, and it's basically, like, you gotta pick which one you love, or whatever. And I basically played it with my actual feelings, like what I actually wanted to say to the characters. Yeah. Even if it was really mean, because I'm a huge bitch. But I couldn't 100% complete it. I got to like the last chapter, and Emily accused me of lying to her about being a virgin, and I was like, what the fuck? No. And I got really actually pissed off, and I just like closed the game because I was legitimately angry. And it wasn't because, it's petty preteen drama. I guess I felt like I was actually talking to somebody, and like they were accusing me of lying when I knew I didn't lie to them. And it just like, I don't know, it affected me a lot more than Emily is Away, which is awesome for a sequel to a game to be better than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. I really do like that game. I think that there's kind of, for the narrative mechanic of it, there's a lot of assumption that it places on the player about how they'll attempt to, like, play the game, so to speak. Because I feel like, I always hear people talk about it. It was like, oh, like, it was, like, heartbreaking when I was, like, accused of lying, or, like, they revealed me for, like, my true self. And I'm like, I didn't have any of that. Like, I wasn't, because, like, that game is like, I feel like a lot of it has to do with how it, plays with, like, how we make choices in games a lot, and, like, how we try to, like, game the system and that sort of thing. Like, oh, you want to tell these, you want to tell these two people, like, what you want to hear, so you can hear more of, like, their story and that sort of thing, or what they want to hear, I should say. You tell them what they want to hear so you can hear more of their story, but, like you said, I just said my like honest feelings on it and kind of kept my story straight. So I never had that moment where they're like, oh, you lied to me. Like at the end, they're like, hey, you're a genuine person. Like, I'll miss you when I go off to college, but like, thanks for talking. And I'm like, okay, I see where this could have gone, but it's not exactly where it went for me. So,
well, I found it was interesting. The reason that they accused me of lying was because, what's her face? The emo one is like, she asks if you're a virgin, and there's like a definite like yes, a definite no, and then there's one that's like, well, kinda, and I chose well, kinda, because like, well, kinda for sure.
Yeah.
And like you see him type it up and then delete it and then say, no, I'm not a virgin or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course I told Emily straight up that I was, because I was like, fuck this, they're not playing with me like this. So yeah, that was fucked up. Fucked me up.
It's pretty wild that that game is, like you said, like having that really strong emotional reaction to that game is incredible, because it's such a minimal experience, but it does just like so much with making it feel realistic.
Yeah, I thought like the most interesting part, the part that like really felt realistic, was they started setting like a timer for when they're both venting to you at the same time. So like you either have to like pick one to respond to, or like try your hardest to respond to both. And I was trying really hard to respond to both, because that's what I would probably do in a situation like that. Like I would try to be there for both people. So I feel like the timer puts more pressure on you, so it feels a little bit more genuine. Like you feel all the pressure weighing down on you, instead of just like having them vent to you and then like you just switch tabs or something and go on like Twitter or whatever and type a few tweets and then come back to it later or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was pretty cool.
Now, I apologize, but I've been reacting to something that Rose just linked in the Slack, because this is actually pretty crazy. Breaking news, the Switch 5.0 update, I guess, leaked. Not, like, to the public, but I guess someone took a video of what it is. And so I guess in the next update, there's going to be folders for games.
Okay.
I guess in the 5.0 update, they're also going to add all those video things. So YouTube, Crunchyroll, Twitch, etc. Cool. They're going to add themes. So, like, there's going to be, like, there's a Breath of the Wild theme in here. And and also, guess what, y'all? It looks like Nintendo's actually making the right move, and they're not just gonna have the online functions on your phone. You're gonna be able to have, like, parties and shit on your Switch.
Oh, thank God.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, okay, so You know how originally when they announced the like online functionalities for the Switch, it was like, oh, if you wanted to have a party, it would have to be like through an app on your phone. You don't have to do that now.
Yeah, you mean like total bullshit.
Like a group.
Oh, no, I had no idea about that. Okay.
Yeah, like you would have to invite people through an app on your phone, but now you can just like you can group up and you could like play Splatoon or Mario Kart in a party like through the console instead of through an app on your phone.
Okay, well that's good. Because I knew there was the chat app on your phone.
Yeah, they're gonna make it so you can just do it through your Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, this all looks really good. Like, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah.
I was really worried that it was just gonna be that bullshit, but no, this looks fine.
Yeah, I'm really happy that themes are making their way back in.
Right.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. I was like sitting there like, oh shit, because I was just like watching this like minute and a half long video of this leak, and I was just like, oh yeah, like.
No, you're good.
I apologize. Trex, is there anything else you wish to discuss?
Mad Catz. Back in March last year, they filed for bankruptcy and just shut down. It kind of took us all by surprise because they've been around for like ever. But they're back. They're coming back. They've officially announced it, and they're going to focus on quality, according to a release.
Cool.
From what I saw, what they're actually doing is the Chinese end of the like basically all the people that were like manufacturing the Mad Catz parts over in China got the rights to Mad Catz, and they're relaunching it. So it's basically just the manufacturers taking the reins from the people that were just kind of pushing them around from the US. So, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering how they just like jumped back up and was like, "Hey, it's us."
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a little weird, but at the same time I'm not opposed to it because,
Yeah. Make the fight sticks.
Yeah, they haven't announced any fight sticks yet, which is a little bit of a bummer, I guess, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else?
No, I think that's all on my part.
Okay. All right, so me. As for stuff that I've been playing, I actually kind of had a pretty low-key Christmas from like my family and all that. I didn't really get anything too crazy, so I gathered up all my Christmas money and even a little bit of money that maybe I shouldn't have. No, I'm fine. I'm not broke or anything, but I gathered all my Christmas money and I went, you know what? I'm going to buy myself my Christmas presents. So I went out and I got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and a Switch Pro controller. And let me tell you, I am so happy with both of those purchases.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the Switch Pro controller is super nice.
Let me think. How to explain how good this controller is.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess I could just start by saying that, like, it's kind of hard to describe it because it's so nice. Like, it's probably the best controller I've ever used, like, straight up.
Jeez.
Maybe I like the GameCube controller more, but it's definitely up there. Like, it fits, like, perfectly. It's got an amazing battery life. The thumbsticks are great. The D-pad's great. The buttons are great. The triggers are great. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Everything about it is superb. I've only played a couple of games with it, but, I only have a couple of games on the Switch. Yeah. I played a bunch of Xenoblade with it, and that is a really great way to play that game. I played some Mario. Obviously you're supposed to play Mario with the Joy-Cons, but I still had a good time using the Pro controller.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a little bit of I even played some like smaller games too. Like I played some Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like using the D-pad for that is very good. Like just dropping Tetraminos and all that. And I also played another game that I bought recently, which I almost forgot. Was Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which I guess I could talk about that real quick because it's pretty quick. So Mighty Gunvolt Burst is, at least when you're playing as Beck, it's just a Mega Man game. It's by Inti Creates. It's the people that made Mighty Number 9, but of course, as you know, they are also the people that made all the Gunvolt games. They made Mega Man 9 and 10. They made all the Mega Man Zero games. Like, they are talented people. So do not let the mighty name scare you. Because it is a very, very good game. If you're interested in Mega Man games, this is actually probably a good way to start. Because you can customize your weapons, and that's the big draw to it. It's not just like, oh, when you beat a boss, you get their power. Like, there are a variety of different weapons that you can get. As you progress through the levels, you find new upgrades that you can equip, and you pick up like more like energy, so you can use more powers on one weapon. And it just builds and builds and builds, and you can just get cooler and cooler weapons as you go. And it's just super neat.
It sounds it sounds cool. I don't know a lot about the Xeno games, the Xenoblade series of products. But I've seen a lot of good press about this game, so I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, but no, that was Mighty Gunvolt Burst. That wasn't Xenoblade.
Oh, I'm sorry. My God, what have I done?
If they took that original Xenoblade game and then turned it into a Mega Man clone, that would be really weird.
For some reason, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened.
Out. It's okay. It's okay.
I thought you were talking about Xenoblade.
No. I mean, I am still enjoying Xenoblade, just for very different reasons.
Yeah.
So Xenoblade is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an RPG. I think the best way to describe it is that it plays like an MMO, but you're by yourself. Like your character straight up, like, they auto attack like they would like in an MMO. And there are like hotkeys basically for your abilities. But there's plenty different from an MMO. Like, you can meet new characters and have them join your party. There's a more involved story. There's an actually like pretty vibrant world. I mean, there are still like some MMO stuff where you're like, you know, collecting 10 of this thing and all that, but
sure, yeah.
I do really like the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's got a really, really great sense of character to it. I love I really like just like cutscenes of the characters hanging out and talking. They're all like really well written and fun characters. And the really neat thing is the blade mechanic. So the plot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is that you are a character named Rex who becomes a driver, and drivers are people who can resonate with blade cores to summon a blade. And I think the easiest way to describe it is that a blade is basically a stand or like a persona, where they are a humanoid or sometimes even animal-like entity that assists you in battle by giving you access to abilities, and also they kind of give you your weapon. Depending on what their weapon is, that's the weapon that you use. Some of the characters can only have one blade, but Rex and some of the other characters can get a bunch of them. So you can, if you find a core out in the world, you can basically roll a gacha to get a blade. And it's
that's kind of neat, honestly. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily get to like choose which blades that you can, work with. I mean,
once you get them, you can keep them, and
yeah.
You can. There are actually items that you can buy that let you swap between different characters, so you don't have to necessarily have them grafted onto you forever. And okay, so there is one thing that I'm going to say. If you or anyone listening are planning on buying this game, now that I'm talking it up, I need to let you know. Keep your blades. There is an option to get rid of them because at some point, like, you mostly get common blades at first, and those are pretty throwaway.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start getting rare blades, those are the ones that you kind of want to keep and, like, use on your character. Mm-hmm. But don't throw out your common blades, because around, like, chapter 6, you get the ability to send them out on missions to get, like, items and stuff, much like you would in, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 or something like that. So keep them. You can keep most of them, because when you do get rid of them, sometimes you do get, like, boosters to give you a better chance of getting a rare blade. But you should keep most of them so you can have a bunch of blades to send out on missions.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. Like, I didn't, I just kind of assumed that the blades were just, like, like you said, like stands or something, where you bring them up in combat and there wasn't much else you could do with them, but that's pretty neat.
Absolutely.
Is it like, so are they blade-specific missions, or are they missions that you could do that you can just have them take care of?
They're specifically for the blades.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, now, I will say that the big negative that a bunch of people have talked about already, but I'll just touch upon it, is the character design. There's a couple of characters in the game that are very, very over-exaggerated big titty anime ladies, and I know that people have problems with that, and, I'm not going to say that it's necessarily great. The big complaint that I have is that the art style, or really the character design, is very inconsistent. Specifically because they brought a bunch of different artists on to do, like, all the different characters.
Interesting.
And it's kind of weird. Like, a lot of them are just the different blades. Like, they got different artists to do the different blades, and that's an interesting, in theory, because that is something that they'll do in, like, gacha games. Like, if you look at, like Fire Emblem Heroes or something like that, all the characters are drawn in, like, very, like, they have, like, a standard, per se, but, like, you can tell that it's drawn by different people. And, in Xenoblade, they basically did the same thing, but it's not a gacha game. And they're also not static images that you can just kind of be like, oh, here's this art. Like, no, they're all 3D models, and they're all interacting in this world, so it's a little awkward. So, that's basically my big gripe with it. The other standard Xenoblade gripes are there, like how, in theory, it's neat that you're walking around this gigantic open world and there are monsters that are, like, way too overpowered for you to fight, just, like, hanging out near you. But sometimes you just aggro them on accident while you're trying to fight something that's around your level and get killed with one hit when you don't even know that you're in a fight with it. Like, that is very annoying, but luckily there's enough checkpoints where it's not really that bad, and you don't lose any items or money when you die. You just get sent back, so it's just kind of like, alright, well, that sucks, but I'm just gonna have to walk back over here, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely recommend it. You do have to have a little bit of an anime, you do kind of have to be like, alright, yeah, here's this big titty anime lady. I'm not gonna be too pissed off about it, like, I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like I think it's dumb to be upset at it, but I'm just saying you do have to have that, like, you do have to be able to just kind of be like, alright, sure, to really enjoy it, but I still think it's fun if you like RPGs.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like, I always enjoy a good RPG, but I never really know, like, how to get into some of the franchises, because they seem like, like stuff like Final Fantasy, like Kingdom Hearts, like, I don't know, there was some other example I had that I just completely forgot. Like, you want to get into these sorts of things, but you never really know, like, where a good entry point would be. So would you say if, like, someone had never played any of the other, like, Xenoblade games, like, would this still be an okay game for them to play?
Oh, absolutely. I think there might be some ties to the previous games, but I will say there is a pretty big reason why this one is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because X had nothing to do with anything. X was its own thing, and I think the only reason why it's called Xenoblade Chronicles X is because Nintendo funded it.
Uh-huh.
Like, if they didn't, I bet they would have called it, like, Xeno something else, because that, like, Monolith Soft has made a bunch of Xeno games, like, they've done Xenogears, Xenosaga, all that stuff.
Xenogears was the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah. But, you know, I recommend it if you have a Switch and you're looking for a big, long RPG. It's there, and it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, my first big Switch purchase of the year is probably going to be Bayonetta next month, but after that, like, depending on what else comes out this year, because there's apparently supposed to be some stuff coming out this year for the Switch, John, if you want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Taiko.
I mean, do you want to talk about Taiko Drum Master Tracks?
No, I think we know that Taiko's a great game, and it's coming out in October, just saying.
Nice. And it also has some fucking amazing Joy-Cons.
Oh my god, they're so beautiful. I cannot wait. This is one of my favorite arcade games.
Wait, is it coming out over here?
I hope so.
There's an English trailer for it. I would hope so.
Okay. I mean, that might just be for, like, Europe or, like, other Asian territories where they speak English.
Listen, I'm going to find out how to get it if it's not being released over here, but I'm pretty sure it's being released over here.
Well, the Switch isn't region locked, right?
Yeah, it's not. So you could just download it. You just have to make a, like, Japanese account or something like that to download it. Maybe like a European account. And you could do that very easily.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of like rumors about stuff coming out for the Switch this year that John, I know you wanted to talk about.
All right, yeah, I will hit that up. I don't remember if I talked about the original Leaky Leaks post on here, but I'll just talk about this new one. I'm not really sure exactly why people put a bunch of credence into these posts, but I like talking about rumors and leaks and all that. So I'll talk about it either way, and I'll just put a big ol' asterisk on it. So y'all can't yell at me for being wrong. You could just yell at this guy, because it's not me, it's this dude. So, according to this poster who goes by, let me look here, Das Vergeben. Yeah. Look, I didn't pick the name here. He posted a bunch of stuff about a couple of games, mostly fighting games, but I'll just continue here. So for Soul Calibur 6, he posts some stuff about how, he expected there to be a Switch version, but that seems a bit up in the air. It kind of sounds like it might be something that they either put out at a later date, or they aren't going to do it at all. So, who knows about that? Sounds like they're a little worried about putting out, like, a botched Switch port and having it sell like shit, like the WWE 2K18 port, which, again, if you recall how bad WWE 2K18 was, that's saying something.
Uh-huh.
And he points out a couple of characters that I guess he's saying are going to be in the game. You know, some classic ones. I'm trying to see if Valdo is mentioned. I don't see Valdo, so that might be a problem.
Oh yeah, that's a deal breaker.
I think Valdo will be in. I think Valdo's been in all of them. But yeah, it says like Killick, Maxi, Nightmare, Taki, Ivy, Cassandra, a bunch of the characters that you would expect. Let's see, what else? So Dragon Ball FighterZ. This one's pretty funny, because he talks about some of the DLC characters for this game. And two of them are pretty stupid. So he says that two of them are going to be Broly and Bardock. So Broly is that big buff Saiyan from the non-canon movies. That's pretty funny that they're doing a non-canon character. Mm-hmm. And Bardock is Goku's dad. But the other two characters are black hair Vegeta and black hair Goku, like standard characters, like not Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And according to this post, he says the reason why they're doing that is because the Japanese fan base really likes Extreme Budoten, and they aren't Super Saiyan in that game. So it's basically just for Japanese fans.
Yeah, well, after something like, you know, JoJo All-Star Battle, I am perfectly fine with fan service in my anime fighting games.
Yeah, for sure. And, I'm sure there will be plenty more DLC characters in the future, so
Yeah.
I'm not too beat up about it as long as they play differently. Like if black-haired Goku had, like, the bow staff and the Nimbus Cloud, that would be pretty cool. And, like, maybe Vegeta could be, like, old school, like, with the Saiyan armor Vegeta, like, from Namek. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that's probably what it would be. I don't think they would make those DLC characters if they were just, like, a skin for the regular ones, but I don't know.
Yeah, because, like, from what I've seen, they're also doing Super Saiyan versions of Goku and Vegeta, and they seem very different from the other versions of Goku and Vegeta. So, we'll see. Let's see here. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So I guess this is what Season 2 is going to be, supposedly. It says it's going to be Star-Lord, Ms. Marvel, Asura, like from Asura's Wrath, Lady, who's from Devil May Cry 3, I want to say, Gil from Street Fighter 3, and either Rashid or Virgil from Devil May Cry. I hope it's Rashid. Rashid's cool. And it also says that if things don't turn around for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite soon, they're gonna just cut it off because it hasn't sold well, and I guess they're just, like, they're not gonna keep supporting a game that's sold that poorly.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the new version of Street Fighter V coming out, so they're still rolling stuff out for that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here, I'll quote this post here. Capcom, from my understanding, has some level of disdain towards the whole thing, while Marvel has some disdain for them releasing something with such a negative, toxic connotations that has their name on it. I'm not sure who's more wanting to cut on the whole thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if Capcom is a bit more fuck this about it at some point. I know neither side is completely happy with how things are with the game and turned out, yet both are to blame whether they want to believe it or not. So yeah, that's a little messy.
Yeah, it seems like they both screwed this up and now neither of them want anything to do with it.
Yeah. So the previous Leaky Leaks post claimed that Devil May Cry 5 was going to get announced at PSX, but now he's claiming that it will be at E3 this year because they wanted to talk about Street Fighter and Resident Evil 7's DLC and Monster Hunter World instead of a new game.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some characters for BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Nothing really crazy. From Persona, it's Kanji, Naoto, Mitsuru, and Aigis. From Under Night In-Birth, they have Hilda and Merkava, which, yes, Merkava. Yes, Merkava! From BlazBlue, there's Tao Kaka and Lychee. And from Ruby, it's Blake and Yang. So I think they're just gonna do the main Ruby characters, and that's it for the Ruby characters in that game.
Sure.
Alright, so finally, here's the Nintendo section. He's claiming that there's going to be a Direct on the 10th or the 11th. The 11th is what a lot of people have been thinking.
Uh-huh.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see how this goes. Let's see. So, not everything from this is going to be from the Direct, but, whatever. They're going to talk about the Switch Virtual Console, I guess, during this Direct, according to this. We'll see how that goes. Metroid Prime 4, he claimed once, and he's claiming again that Bandai Namco worked on this.
Interesting, okay.
He's claiming that there's going to be a new Animal Crossing.
Ooh. Sure. Ooh. Yeah.
Good. For this year.
Oh my god. I would die.
Oh my god.
There's more talk of Mother 3 coming out, which people say this every time there's a Nintendo Direct.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose hope.
They'll do it, but it'll be like a full, like, ground up 3D, like, a remake for, like, the Switch.
Oh, please. If they actually made good on Earthbound 64, I would jack off and die.
Oh my god, shit. Be careful.
Let's see here. Some talk that the next Fire Emblem might be coming out, like, really soon.
They just churn those things out, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, look, they just have to draw some more horny art and write some more horny writing, and that's all they have to do.
Hell yeah.
So this part right here is actually the part that makes me feel like this might be true. And it's because there have been some other leaks recently that have corroborated this. They might be doing like a semi-remake of Link's Awakening. I
heard about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there have been multiple leaks about this. It's supposed to be basically like the big 3DS send-off. Like this is going to be the last like first-party 3DS game Nintendo makes or publishes, because it's being made by the people that did all the Zelda ports to 3DS, like Grezzo, sure. I think they're called.
Those are good ports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's from what I've read, it might even be like a 3D game. Like it might not be a top-down game. It's going to be a remaster remake of Link's Awakening. They said that it's inspired by Breath of the Wild even, so I have no idea what that game is going to be, but it sounds like it's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah. As with all that considered, it definitely sounds like they'd be putting some effort into that.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess there's also some talk that they're making new Wario. It doesn't say if it's going to be WarioWare or a like Wario platformer.
They need to make WarioWare for the Switch.
Yes, like, come on.
That is such a slam dunk.
Well, it says here that it's going to be. It says here it's going to be on the 3DS. So, you know,
oh well, okay.
If it's on the 3DS, then I hope it's just a platformer. Because you're right. They need to make a WarioWare for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then, here's just a quick rundown of third-party games that I guess are going to be coming to the Switch. I guess Rockstar, due to L.A. Noire being a success on the Switch, they are going to be porting GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption to the Switch.
Okay, I'd buy Red Dead on the Switch.
Like GTA 5 is going to make them a lot of money, but yeah, Red Dead. Yeah, Red Dead. Killing Floor 2, Hearthstone. Injustice 2.
Okay.
They're going to be putting out a port of all the Ace Attorney games. It's going to be two separate games. The first one is 1, 2, and 3. The other one is going to be 4, 5, and 6.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, I need
They're also talking about putting out a new one.
Ooh,
for the Switch.
I hope it's good.
There is some talk of either a port or a sequel of Wonderful 101. They're going to talk about a Dragon Quest XI during the Direct for the Switch.
Okay.
They're going to... they're probably going to bring Dragon Ball FighterZ to the Switch, but it's not going to be out until the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's some talk that next year's Call of Duty is going to be on the Switch. They're probably going to port Undertale to the Switch.
Nice.
Fortnite's probably going to come to the Switch. A bunch of tiny build games, including Hello Neighbor, are probably going to come to the Switch. And finally, the two wildest ones are supposedly Nintendo has been pushing Platinum to port Nier Automata to the Switch.
Yeah.
Ooh, neat.
And the last, the big crazy one, which, especially if it ends up being exclusive to the Switch, it sounds like there's a chance it might be a Dark Souls remaster.
Yeah!
So
my life.
That's a bunch of really wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that Zelda thing seems real. Yeah. So
yeah, I think it'd be incredible if Nier came to the Switch, but I feel like there might be some frame rate problems with that game on the Switch.
Yeah.
Especially considering there's even frame rate problems with it on the PS4.
I was gonna say.
It didn't run terribly for me, but there was some chop in that game. But that would still be really cool if that was on the Switch.
For sure.
And then Dark Souls Remaster, that's one of my favorite games ever. But I sold my Xbox, so I don't have it anymore, so that'd be really cool. Well, we'll see what happens.
Mm. For sure. Alright, so now that we're done with our news and other fun things, let's move on to questions. If you'd like to send in a question, please send them in to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com, which is our email address, or videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, which is our Tumblr account, and you can be anonymous, so don't worry about that. Our first question comes from an anonymous user, and they ask, how did you all meet Corky? That's a great question.
I just met him because I started writing for the site, and I just met him through being here and being friends with John and such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
I met Corky through Tumblr. We both really like Giant Bomb, and eventually Mike introduced me to writing for a small site that doesn't exist anymore, and I only did that for a short amount of time. And then after that, Mike and I were like, fuck, we should do our own thing. And then we did. And now that's the podcast that you're listening to right now.
Hell yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Kawaii.
I lived in his house for a while, for like a couple of months. It's crazy.
I'm going to be seeing him at PAX. It's going to be weird. This person who I've only known from him being a meme face, I will be meeting him in real life. That's going to be weird. But it should be nice.
Mm-hmm. Trex, if you met Mike right now, what would you do?
Kill him.
Okay.
He keeps like,
Jesus.
anytime I mention anything about traveling or conventions, he's like, come to LA. And I'm like, listen, bitch, I'm a small town kid from Ohio. I don't got the money.
Yeah. It'd be nice if we could all, like, meet up for a convention at some point, like everybody from Chooch.
I think that would be rad. Have a little
maybe
hotel
someday.
party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We really should. Y'all can. An anonymous Tumblr user asked, rank the top 3 candy bars. So
Damn.
I'm just gonna say we should just talk about our favorite candy bars, so that way it's not like a knockdown, drag out brawl.
Should we each pick one and that's the top 3, or should we pick 3 each?
I think we should just talk about our favorites. It doesn't have to be any kind of like let's not constrain ourselves. Let us be free.
Sure.
So, my favorite candy bar is an Almond Joy. I love Almond Joys.
Nice.
Delicious.
I don't love Almond Joys, but I think that's a pretty good choice. I like the coconut and all that. So
I love coconut. Coconut's probably my favorite, like just flavor. So mixing it up with some chocolate and almond. Oh my goodness, I could eat so many Almond Joys.
Wow, I learned something new about John today.
There you go. I also really like Reese's. And Crunch bars.
Nice.
So that's probably my top 3.
I think with that, we can all 3 agree that Reese's should be on this list, because I'm also a Reese's fan, and Trex, you seemed enthusiastic about it.
Yes, Reese's is the best thing to come ever in life.
They're very good.
They're extremely good.
Reese's Hang.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, what are your other favorite candy bars? I guess.
Reese's is definitely a top 3. I see. I don't eat a lot of candy anymore. I used to, but these days I try to keep away from stuff like that unless it's like, like Halloween or something. Mm-hmm. I like those. I'm pretty basic with this kind of stuff. I don't think these really count as a candy bar, but I also really like the peanut butter M&Ms because they're similar to the Reese's, but they also have a completely different texture and flavor. So it's like an alternate version of chocolate and peanut butter that I like. I used to eat Butterfinger a lot as a kid, which probably fucked up my teeth because of how hard it is.
Butterfinger is really good too, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, remember when they used to have those Butterfinger bites that Bart Simpson advertised or whatever?
Yeah.
Bart Simpson advertised Butterfinger, period, which is kind of weird in and of itself.
That's true. I remember they had these Butterfinger bites that were like malt balls, but they were Butterfinger, and I remember the advertising campaign, they were anthropomorphic. Well, not anthropomorphic in that they had arms and legs, but they had a face. Huh. And they were these ragtag attitudinal, fucking bite your finger off Butterfinger bites. I don't think I'm doing a good job of describing this, but no. I have a vivid memory of going to Blockbuster back in the day and seeing these sentient orbs of Butterfinger with eyes and mouths, and maybe this was some bizarre fever dream that I had, but
I think so.
I'm pretty certain that these were a thing that existed. Anything else? Not really. I did actually lose one of my teeth by biting into a candy bar when I was a kid.
Ew.
Really?
Yeah, I had a loose tooth, and I had this candy bar called I think it was called like a Sugar Daddy, basically, and all it was is like caramel like on a stick.
Yeah, it's just straight caramel. Yeah,
it's just caramel on a stick, and I had been like had it in my mouth, and I like bit into it, and when I pulled it out, my tooth was like embedded into the caramel, like it had just like popped out when I bit into it, and I was like,
no.
oh, okay. Like, it didn't hurt or anything, like I didn't even feel it, like it was that loose, but it was just weird. I was like, oh. Anyway, fucking candy bars, right?
Yeah.
Trex, what about you?
Obviously Reese's. It's my top.
Yeah.
God tier.
Good.
And then definitely Twix. Really, really, really like Twix too. And then I think my third favorite would probably be Three Musketeers. I really like the texture of it.
Yeah.
It's so like soft.
Okay.
Like a pillow.
Yeah, the nougat, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, nougat.
Very good.
Like, I like Three
Nougat.
Musketeers, but when you say nougat out loud, it's like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Makes me
Nougat.
sound like an old lady or something.
Yeah, it's okay.
Whenever someone says nougat, I just think about that Strong Bad email where he made his own candy bar. Because he says, like, nougat.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
It's very good. Alright, this question is going to be a bit of a challenge for us three, specifically.
Really?
So I'm just gonna read it, and I'm gonna see if this is something that we can physically possibly answer, or if this might have to wait a week until, like,
Okay.
Andy or Michael are around.
Okay.
Anonymous asks, please explain wrestling. This isn't about games, but I'm confused, and I want to understand Andy's Twitter. Thank you.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, we can try to, like, improvise, wrestling facts. Like, I mean...
Look, I don't want to be mean to this poor anonymous person. Like, I would feel really bad if they came to us legitimately asking for help because of how Andy has been tweeting about Wrestle Kingdom recently, and that is pretty impenetrable for something who doesn't keep up with new Japanese wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I would feel really bad if we just started going like, oh man, wasn't that crazy when the Big Bull defeated Rochester Rochester Nougat? People would probably be like, yeah, that sounds real, and then they would look up Rochester Nougat, and they would find out our lie, and it would just be, they would never ask us anything ever again.
Sounds
I don't want to do that to
fair.
somebody.
That's fair, but like a year from now, there will be a Wikipedia article for Rochester Nougat, because that is going to be my wrestling name when I take up the good sport. Besides, everybody knows that wrestling was invented when fucking, like, Shane McMahon, or Vince McMahon, excuse me, when Vince McMahon snuck into the halls of the gods like Prometheus stealing the fire and, like, brought it down to him with Earth, and everyone was like, you can't just steal wrestling like that, and Vince McMahon flexed his big muscles, and everyone got too scared to do anything about it, so
I'm fucking
now
confused.
Vince McMahon owns the copyright to wrestling. I'm sorry, everybody.
Is that true?
No,
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
From my perspective, wrestling
Yeah, please.
is a bunch of sweaty men in a ring. I guess it's a performance art.
Yes.
Somebody told me that wrestling isn't real, and that fucking blew my mind. So that's all I know.
Everything is real.
Thanks.
I mean, it's real in that they're putting their lives on the line. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit, but, you know, it's predetermined.
That's fucked up. So, like, somebody's like, hey, you should bite your competitor's ear off. And they're like, okay, I get paid for this. It's fine.
No, I mean, they're not going to do that. Like, it's predetermined in that they choreograph it so nobody gets seriously injured unless something really bad happens, but, you know, they try not to do that.
Well, then what's the point?
To tell a story.
Yeah, to just be entertaining. Like, here's the thing for me. I'm not as into wrestling as the people who on this site who are like into it, but I've watched a bit of it. And for me, the excitement comes less from seeing these very big men attempt to hurt each other in the ring, and more for just admiring the craft and like the showmanship of it, where like, you know, oh, this dude like comes out and he's got a fucking thing on his head and he's like oh my god, and there's lights and, you know, they throw each other around and they're saying these like, you know, these hype promos and stuff, and it's all, you know, it's all manufactured only in that, like John said, like the outcome is ultimately predetermined, but it's the fight choreography of it. It's like watching a movie where, you know, the fights in a movie aren't real, but they're still like choreographed by someone. Like, you know, there's still a sense of entertainment that comes with it. Like, it's like a comic book in real life almost, where these people inhabit these characters and they, you know, perform these fights and stuff. And some people are into it, some people aren't, you know. I think it's entertaining, but I don't have as much of an investment in it as like Andy or Michael or somebody might.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I mean, I it's hard for me to like recommend matches or anything like that. Like, I know people who can just like rattle off like, oh yeah, this is what got me into wrestling, this is it. All that stuff. And I'm just like, you know, sometimes wrestling is good, sometimes it's really bad, so it's hard to kind of sell it to people.
Yeah.
You have to be really into it, I think.
It's very silly sometimes.
It is very silly, yes.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and got one more question, and I think we'll wrap it up. Again, just to remind everybody, podcast at videogamechoochoo.com or videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask for questions. Our last question is from Shoeless. And Shoeless asks, I know it's way too early to think about it right now. Boy, you're telling me. But is there anything you hope to see at E3 this year? Well, I'm just gonna say that they better talk about Smash Bros. In some capacity for the Switch, or else I'm gonna die.
That would be very nice.
What about you, Ryan?
You know, I want to see more Switch stuff because they had a really good launch year for that console, but I'm ready to see like what more they have coming. I want to know what this thing that From Software has been working on this whole time, this thing that may be like a remake or like a sequel to that one franchise that they did, or maybe something else. I mean, who knows? There's not really a whole lot that I'm really thrilled about this year. Like, last year, coming into 2017, there were a lot of titles on my list of stuff to play just like right out of the gate. But at the beginning of 2018, there's just nothing that comes to mind for me that's coming out this year that I know of that I'm excited for that isn't like Nintendo stuff. Like, you know, Metroid Prime 4, which is assumedly coming out this year. You know, maybe we'll get like a Smash port, whatever's up with the No More Heroes game and like Bayonetta 3 and that sort of stuff. So there are things I want to see, but I don't think it's anything that's particularly concrete at this point in time. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Trex, is there anything you want to see?
I want to see Reggie come down from the stage and kiss me.
Okay.
Also, I want to see more Switch games.
Yeah, I just think we all just want to see more Switch stuff. Like,
well, I'm really tired of them just like porting games over to the Switch. Like, I want like an original game, more original games instead of just remakes or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of ports since it's, you know, like their first year and all that. They've got to get some kind of content on there. But I agree. I want to see more original stuff.
I was gonna say, like, is there anything like big from like Sony or anything that you would want? But I feel like anything that I would want from Sony is like, I would want new stuff. I don't really want sequels from anything, so I can't really ask for anything. I mean,
yeah.
There's stuff that they've announced that I want
for everything. I just want original content.
Like, there's stuff that they've announced that I want, but I don't really care much for like hearing more about it. Like, I want Spider-Man to just be out.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that at E3. I just want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Shadow of the Colossus remake, but that'll be out like next month, like in a month from now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
for sure. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. If I'm gonna ask for something from Sony, I would say, hey, do the Spyro remaster.
Ooh.
Do it! Do it!
They're gonna release Skylanders or whatever.
Skylanders is basically done. Like, they're not gonna do any more Skylanders, probably.
Good.
Well, yeah. Let's just bring Spyro back.
Please.
To his former glory. Alright, and I think that should do it for this week's show. I would just like to remind everybody to go onto our website and check out our Game of the Year coverage. We worked really, really hard on it. I'd like to give a special shout out to Andy for all the work they did on the videos. It's top notch. Like,
yeah, they did a great job.
Incredible work. Like, I was watching those videos and I was like giddy because I was just like, oh my goodness, we're a real website now. I would like to remind everyone to check out our social media, which is at VGCC on Twitter, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com, which is our Tumblr, of course. And we have our Discord server, which is thegamezone.zone. And finally, I would also like to thank Melt Channel for letting us use our theme song, Crush, off of their album Magic is Real. Go check them out at meltchannel.bandcamp.com for more good-ass tunes. And we'd like to see you back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. Good night, all.